dum 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 woodcutter dum 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 woodcutter. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm Cliffside Permaculture. Drought protection. I want to show you what I did to get almost all of my seeds to sprout, even during a drought, with only using rain barrel water. And it's most obvious right over here. You see my soil dries out to bricks. You've seen it before. But it also has a tendency to not really hold its moisture great. It gets kind of compacted and difficult to work with. So I worked on it up here with just the dredges out of my fire pit. This isn't with even anything amending it. This is the charcoal and ash that I pulled out the bottom of the fire pit. Now I did just water it, and I haven't watered the rest, but that's because I got distracted by a little kiddo who wanted to talk to me about all kinds of things. So I got a secret seed growing, and you see I tried to plant carrots during the rainy season and they didn't come up, and I planted them here in the dry season. Oh, that's an onion. Oops. Oh, don't mind the neighbors. So I planted them into this mixture of my soil and all of this charcoal. And it's just crumbly charcoal, you know. And I gave it maybe a can of water out of the watering can every other day. I did not consistently remember, and almost everything sprouted. I'm thinking I might have sown the arnica and wormwood wrong, or they might have really slow germination. Not quite sure, but everything else I got at least one. Sorghum, I only got one, and the bunnies are eating it, so I might have to try again. Beets, wild edibles, yellow maters, wild edibles, cherry, purple cherry tomato. See that? It's looking great. I'm pretty excited. I did that. So this is watered without ash, and I really wish I would have put the ash in here. This is a sunken spot that catches all the runoff from down along here. And it's really nice because it does stay more damp, but I'm trying to use it as a cutting starting station, and I'm not sure how well that's going. It probably needs a whole bunch of ash tilled in. And right here, I'm still watching. I mixed a bunch in, but I'm not sure how much. Might have needed to put more, so that might not be enough. It's kept the hopness or ground nut, Apios americana, going real well here. There's one going there. Decided to interplant it with my rhubarb, because you never have to dig up rhubarb. But so I think it'll be like starting from under the rhubarb, and then I'll harvest the spaces in between. And this is supposed to be thicket bean, which is an East Coast native bean. I have more seeds if they don't tank, of the things that didn't take, but I just cannot believe how much better it did with me mixing this in compared to without. Lupini, and then all of my noodle beans. I think there's like one that didn't sprout. It would have been right there. Every single other bean, I pre-soaked it and I put it in. I planted these. It was fully hot outside, so it wasn't the cold that did it. I planted these twice And the first time the ground just dried out, and now I added this and I didn't have it dry out. So that's just plain ash and char out of my fire pit. I'll take you and show my fire pit. It's up in the front yard. I call the cliffside my front yard. I guess technically it's not the one that faces the street, but whatever. Look at the tiny bunny. Tiny bunny. Are you getting full? You gonna get big? Don't mind the motorcycle. Bye, tiny bunny. So this is my fire pit. That's where I clean the fire pit out into that on a relatively regular basis. It's mainly paper fires that I do in here. And right now this is just raw, plain fire pit dregs, no amendments. But do you know a closed system resource that has a ton of nitrogen and minerals in it? Urine. We can produce extra nitrogen, and it doesn't smell if you put it in the ash, and it can really spike the nitrogen in your soil in a really nice way. So if you wanted to really have like a fertilizer that's also going to improve how much water retains in the soil, then you could add urine to it as well. I've done it in the past. It does wonderfully. I have not been doing it recently because privacy factors. It's also just as well to dump it straight on the garden if you don't eat too much salt. It'll need diluted if you're a salt eater. So there's a wren on the tree. So that is my hydration tip. If you're completely disgusted, well, sorry. That's just how closed loop systems work sometimes. It's important to consider things that you have close to home that you produce on site if you want to help with self-sufficiency and not have to get to the store to purchase a whole bunch of fertilizer, to add a whole bunch of nutrients to your garden. It's great to be able to add whatever medic plant grows wild in your area and a bunch of clover. That'll add nitrogen, and that's great. Black walnut, that'll add nitrogen. Wonderful. But if you want a little bit more diversity, you need to start thinking about things that typically are waste, because the smellier, generally, the more nutrient dense and ready for the soil it is. They make compost tea. That stuff reeks. It's wonderful stuff. If you ferment your comfrey, yeah, it smells pungent. It's wonderful stuff. So just something to think about. But I will say that adding this, just plain ash, no urine in this batch, I used it too quickly. Adding that to the soil has allowed me to just add seeds in drought time and keep them watered enough that even the carrots sprout. So I hope that's helpful for you. I hope that that's really interesting. I know we got a lot of heat waves and drought going on, and I got hit by it too. It was up around 100 around here too, while those seeds were sprouting. So that makes a difference. So I hope you're having a really good day. Thanks so much for visiting the cliffside. This has been Permaculture. Take care. Bye. Dun, dun, dun. Will it grow? It won't grow.